There's been a sea of positivity around Star Wars Battlefront. The trailer leak, then the official trailer. So many people had their hopes up, including myself. I will admit, I dared to dream. But if there's one constant in my life, whenever I dare to dream, I am completely and utterly disappointed and disheartened. You might say to yourself,
Gundam, what are you bitching about now? You're garbage.
wrong. Unfortunately, Star Wars Battlefront, maybe the online mode might not be bad. Fingers crossed, it could still be a possibility. But as far as the story goes, it's gonna be shit. Now, they've put up a well of positivity. The whole, hey, we're not gonna have DLC anymore. We're gonna take a different road. Everybody's like, yay! But when you read in between the lines and these quotes and stuff, when they say things like, the community is falling apart because there are simply not many people playing the different modes. Maybe the community's falling apart because, the game was so simplified, it was disgusting. There was no real class. It was not what people wanted. So we decided we want to avoid that. We don't want to segment our community. We decided on that, and it's one of those difficult decisions because it has so many implications all around. When we looked at the way Battlefront had evolved over its lifetime with the DLC and everything, we decided, you know what? For this type of game, season passes are not the best thing. We need to take it apart and come up with something better. So everybody got happy and figured, great. No DLC for Star Wars Battlefront 2, it's gonna be awesome, and we'll have classes and vehicles, blah blah blah. If you keep reading all of this crap, which I'm not gonna do, because this isn't the point of the video, it pretty much boils down to microtransactions. Count on it. It's EA, for God's sakes. Not for a moment will they not find some sort of way to finagle extra dimes and nickels out of you, even if they had to grab you by your ankles, hold you upside down, and shake your ass over a bridge. Give us your money, bitch. If you've seen the trailer, you've probably already surmised how the narrative's gonna go. Female protagonist lead, made to appease social justice warriors, goes in working for the Empire, and most likely they will be betrayed by the Empire, and then they'll work with the rebels, and everyone saves the day, and they hang out on a fucking planet full of teddy bears. Ewoks, forgive me. I hate Ewoks. The storyline is loosely ripped off from the Mara Jade, Emperor's Hand story arc from the Thrawn trilogy. Who gives a shit, Gundam? Move on to the important stuff. So I was checking out my Twitter, as usual, trying to find some interesting stuff going on. And PC Gamer, who my respect for has now diminished to a point of minuscule, put up a tweet talking about how basically Star Wars Battlefront 2, its campaign is being written by Spec Ops: The Line's lead writer, Walt Williams. Now, a lot of people for a long time loved the story of Spec Ops: The Line. It's probably one of the best stories in gaming. I don't know if the gameplay was that awesome, to be honest. Let's be real here. I never got to play it, but I always heard about how amazing the story was. I just never had time to check it out. Before you get all excited, I will say what I said on Twitter, curb your enthusiasm. Walt Whitman started posting tweets, excited to finally reveal what Mitchie D and I have been working on for the last year. I can't wait for you guys to meet the Inferno Squad. And I'm like, okay. Excuse me while I crush on Mitchie D a bit. Writing Star Wars with him has been the best writing experience of my life. Mitchie D's talent and passion made our story soar. Not lying when I say Mitchie D is more than the best co-writer ever. He's also one of my best buds. I like Ziltex a lot. Me and him play a lot of games together, we share similar views, he's a bigger asshole than me. But you never catch me writing shit about Zil, unless we were both gay as hell and I was ready to blow him.
Gundam, you're an asshole.
But wait, my fair troll, there's more. As I decide to delve deeper, you find out that Mitchie D doesn't really have an amazing repertoire. I know, coming from a guy on YouTube. But hey, takes one to know one, baby. Mitchie D is a former IGN employee. He has no fictional writing resume to speak of, and he's co-writing this game. Now, here's where things get a little weird. If you dig deeper on Mitchie D, you find out that he's a very, very, very big fan of Anita Sarkeesian. On September 3rd of 2014, he wrote, "I cannot emphasize this enough. Anita Sarkeesian is my hero. I can't think of many people I admire or respect more. Welcome to the dark side, young Skywalker." And I can think of people off the top of my head I respect more than Anita Sarkeesian. Dr. Martin Luther King, Henry Wallace, Bruce Lee, Batman, that gay guy across the street. I mean, really. When you see this, as someone who was looking forward to this game, hoping that they'd finally do the right thing with Star Wars Battlefront, my heart began to sink. This pretty much confirms that there's a strong chance that this will be a very, very, very annoying social justice narrative. And if you've been paying attention to Marvel Comics and the way they've gone, because now their readers are leaving and they're wondering why, because they did the same thing. A strong social justice narrative. Captain Marvel's a woman. Thor's a woman. Wolverine's a woman. Iron Man's now a woman. And they're putting this all in your face to make you accept something that you never knew was a problem or offended or bothered you. Until now. I mean, I don't give a shit they're female superheroes, but do you have to take a Norse god who's been male even before there was a Marvel Comics and we turn him into a woman? What does that prove? Making Iceman a homosexual? Even my godmother Ghost, who's a transsexual, saw that they made Iceman gay and she said to me like, this makes no sense and it's stupid. Like, I'm all for gay characters, but don't take established characters I've come to know and love for who they are and change them. This is someone who... So we have a campaign that's going to be social justice driven. And we know EA didn't want a campaign. You know EA doesn't want to spend the money on it. People are speculating that EA will have people with game journalism and intersectional feminist connections for Defense Force, so you can call any criticism of this upcoming game sexist. Expect rave reviews on IGN, and as many articles advertising as they had on Mass Effect Andromeda. The same reason EA hired people like Sam Maggs at BioWare. She couldn't write her way out of a wet paper bag, but she has connections in game journalism. She wrote freelance for PC Gamer, who amazingly put Mass Effect Andromeda on a early best games of the year list. This was written by a guy named Bruce. Now, he has a perfect point. I remember when Mass Effect had that large preview where everybody who had EA access could play the game, 7-12 hours of it before the next campaign thing? I remember staunchly that PC Gamer had a couple people play Mass Effect Andromeda, back when EA had the early access debacle that led to everyone finding out just how shit this game really was. Now, here's where it gets weird. Out of all the guys who worked for PC Gamer and played it, only one liked it. Tyler Wilde said, "We're only allowed to talk about the first couple missions in Mass Effect Andromeda right now, and I think we can all agree that it's a mistake on EA's part. The opening moments are not the highlight of Andromeda at all. James and I are still forming opinions, but I think Tim hates it at this point." James Davenport says Andromeda starts off in the worst way possible, barely introducing you to your brother and father you're supposed to care about before putting them in grave danger, then handing you the mantle of Pathfinder torch in typical BioWare fashion, you are the chosen one, etc. I'm not even going to bother reading Chris's crap, okay? The one guy who was part of this early roundup about it for PC Gamer was the one who ended up writing the review for the game. And guess what? It got 4 out of 5 stars from him. Or an 80, whatever the fuck you want to call it. So obviously there was incentive there to put the best face forward on this game with PC Gamer, which has now resulted in me, well, even then when I saw that, I lost my respect for them, but now that I know more about people who work for them, like this Sam Maggs, now you might be sitting there and saying to yourself, Gundam, who the fuck is Sam Maggs? And why do you care? Well, she wrote for the Mary Sue, which with a name like that, you can only wager it's feminist propaganda. She's also best known as the woman who was raped in GTA 5.
Sexual assault. Shauna Hunt is live with the disturbing reality of virtual rape. Shauna.
Online, they can take your character, lock them in place, have made their character pantsless, and then can simulate sexual assault with your character, and you are helpless to stop it.
The graphics are so good, this attack is eerily realistic, but this is virtual rape. Hackers rewriting codes and hijacking online video games like Zombie Apocalypse and Grand Theft Auto. The vile scenes are then posted to YouTube.
That's deplorable and should not be allowed anywhere. Like, they should be banned off the servers immediately.
And Sam Meggs, an avid gamer and blogger, tells me in some cases these hackers, also known as modders for modifying the game, will talk to victims on their headsets during the attacks.
When you can hear the person on the other end who's saying these things directly to you and they're saying them directly to you, that's a whole other level of harassment, really.
We all know many videos.
Do you remember that a few years back, that redhead annoying woman? No, not Big Red. It's a different redhead annoying woman who was sitting there and trying to make GTA 5 seem like it was a game full of rape. Virtual rape. But it was sensationalized, put in the news, and of course, more Gamergate bullshit, more fuel for the fire for the Anita Sarkeesian types, and also gave politicians like Leland Yee more stuff to use for themselves. He wrote the unconstitutional anti-game law, and he told gamers to quiet down. You know, he wanted to criminalize the sale of violent video games to kids, so on and so forth. They needed more regulation. And he also wanted to meet with certain developers of game studios. Do you know why? Because Leland Yee was a corrupt piece of shit who was looking for money. If someone padded his pockets, he would have gotten off the video game bandwagon. Long story short, he was sentenced to 5 years in prison for corruption. He even had ties to the Chinese mafia. He was also trafficking guns, money, etc. Only 5 years for this level of corruption. And meanwhile, he was trying to push things on video games and so on and so forth. And God, I swear, everybody who tries to be a hero is usually the villain. Games journalism is turning into a joke. And video gaming is going down the tubes. All this sort of social justice narrative that they want to push down people's throats is only proceeding to kill the medium. God. I just wanted to bring this to your attention. It's something you might have missed, you wouldn't be privy to, and they damn sure aren't going to put on, you know, the fucking trailers. Hey, by the way, we have a lot of people from Gamergate involved in this game. Because it worked really well for Mass Effect Andromeda. We figured we'd roll the dice and try again. I don't really need to have something shoved in my face. When I think about strong heroines in movies and stuff like that, think about Alien. And when I think about Alien, the only thing that I remember besides the alien is Ripley. Why? Because Ripley was badass. It didn't need to be established. She didn't need to have a camera panned to her face.
You throw like a girl. You fight like a girl. Yeah, I fight like a girl.
No, Ripley was just fucking Ripley. Tomb Raider, for instance, if we want to go gaming. This is just fucking Lara Croft. It never bothered me that Tomb Raider was a woman. But now it seems like social justice in the video game industry thinks we need to have this put in our faces like we don't fucking know. We don't care. Just like we don't care, like, I don't care if someone's gay. The only time someone being gay bothers me is when they fucking gotta put it in my face. I'm gay, you know, like, yes, Corey, I fucking know you're gay, dude, so what? God damn, what do you want for lunch, dude? And you better not say dick, because I'm sick of that joke. Metroid was a woman. Still a woman. Don't care. Flemeth from Dragon Age. She isn't the main character, but I thought she was like one of the best parts of Dragon Age Origin. And Dragon Age 2. Still a woman, an old woman. Didn't care. Flemeth was badass. You know why? Because she was voiced by the fucking captain of Star Trek Voyager. Captain motherfucking Janeway was a badass. A little annoying at times. But you respected Janeway. The point being, there are female characters I could think off the top of my head that I didn't care that they were women. The characters are all that matter. Who they were was what mattered, not their fucking gender. But now it seems like there's so much emphasis on putting this stuff in your face that they don't realize that in doing so, they only piss people off and make them more resistant to it. And that's all I wanted to say. This went on way longer than I wanted it to, and I apologize for that. And I probably could have trimmed more fat to condense this to make it more consumable for the average person with a short attention span. But if not, to hell with it. What can I do? I can't actually give more of a fuck than me. Rate, comment, subscribe if you so choose to. If not, it's cool with me. I don't care. You know, you got your life to live, I got mine. I respect your right not to give a shit whether my channel grows or not. That's life. Adios, bichachos. My cat is vomiting on the floor. It must be cleaned.